Willie hurriedly closed it with a crash.
"Put the bolt through."
He did so.
"Good."
Willie stood stunned for a moment, for he'd never been praised by anyone ever. The lane they were standing in was bordered by 2 rows of trees. Tom pushed at an old wooden gate, and after a struggle it creaked and groaned open on its one rusty hinge. They walked into a wild and unkempt garden. Tom knocked at the front door, but there was no reply. He walked round the side of the cottage to the back garden. Leaning back in a wicker chair sat Dr. Oswald Little, a plump, red-faced man. His wife Nancy, a tall, thin, freckled woman with closely cropped iron-grey hair, was digging a large trench in the garden. A cigarette dangled in her mouth.
"Dr. Little?"
said Tom loudly. The doctor looked up. "Hello, Tom. This is a surprise. You can't be ill."
"No."
He glanced briefly down at Willie. Nancy, noticing how scared he was, took the cigarette out of her mouth. "I'm Mrs. Little," she said hoarsely. "I expect you like an orange juice, yes?" He nodded and followed her through the back door into the kitchen. Tom sat down. "What's the problem?" asked the doctor. "The boy, is it?"
"Been sick twice already. He had a good tuck-in last night, but brung it up."
"Malnutrition," the doctor remarked. "All that good food might have been too much of an assault on his stomach. Clear broth, rest, exercise, and milk to begin with. I expect he's bedwetting, too, Tom looked surprised. "It's quite common. Give him a month or 2 to settle. How old is he? 5, 6?
8, going on 9.
It was the doctor's turn to look surprised.
"There's someone else. The boy's had a bit of a whipping, like. He got bruises and sores all over him. Done with a belt buckle, mostly. He's too ashamed to let folks see. If you could manage to have a look."
"This and warm salt water," croaked a refined voice from behind. It was Mrs. Little. She placed a bottle of witch hazel by his feet. "We exchanged battle scars," she explained. "I noticed his before we went indoors. I've given him a couple of garters for his socks. You'd think I'd given him the moon." Tom called Willie and Sam. They carried on to the end of the lane and walked onto the road and into the sunlight. The road brought them to the centre of 2 rows of thatched cottages. Mrs. Fletcher and a neighbour were standing outside one. It was one of the few cottages which housed a wireless. A small crowd were gathered in and around the garden, listening to it.
"You go and post your card," said Tom. "The post office is near the shop. I'll meet you there."
And he left Willie and headed towards the group of listeners.
"Looking for the post office, dear?" said an old lady. "You be standing right at it."
Willie opened the door and stepped in. He found himself